Hi guys.
Welcome back to the Stranger and Brittany vlog channel.
So we're going back to our roots today. If you guys didn't know, we started our vlog channel out as a mukbang channel because we're like, oh, that's easy. We'll just eat food and film it. And
we eat food every day. Why not?
And so we're eating food right now, but we're gonna do a story time because we have had the past 2 craziest days.
Yeah.
Most annoying days. And
Too crazy.
So we wanted to film it now while it's like all very fresh in our minds.
Yeah.
So we're eating aloha pudding, Mexican food.
Yeah.
Right now because I needed to treat ourselves after the hell we have just endured.
Yeah. Can they see it? Oh no, their curtains are pulled. So we got new glass doors.
These doors back here on both sides, there's curtains on that side, but both sides is all new.
You're about to see some footage of it at some point. Because
I can save it from
there's
the Ring
footage
camera.
From the Ring camera.
Before it disappears.
Yeah. So I don't know how it all works, but Brittany will go figure that out. And basically we ordered new doors because our doors were nice, beautiful, but not right. Like they weren't level, they weren't even. It was falling apart a little bit. So it looked pretty, it looked like it had potential, but just too much work to fix. Better to just replace.
And also, we can tell you this now, they didn't lock.
Yeah.
So the entire time we lived here, those doors never locked. Now they do lock, so you can't break in, but
don't come over.
but they never locked. So that was like one of the big main reasons why I wanted to, and there was like no good way to lock them because they were stacking doors and they could all move in both directions and it would be like
yeah. So we ordered the doors in April. It's October now, in case you didn't know what
end of
months
October.
are.
It was October the 24th.
Yeah, so 6 months it took, plus some days, to finally get the doors put in. And
which is annoying, but we do live on an island, so
yeah, it's kind of expected for some things to just take a long time.
But they did only quote us for 4 to 5 months, so
yeah. So after Brittany had to harass them a lot with phone calls and stuff.
Worst company I ever worked with, and we remodeled our entire house. This is the last project, so I work with tons of different companies and contractors all across the board, different stuff. Never has been this bad.
Yeah, we've had plumber, electrician, general contractor, kitchen team,
roofers, painters,
tile people. None of them were as bad as this company.
So back to the beginning, like Shane said, I had to harass them so many times. This isn't that big of a deal, but I had to constantly bug them. After it had been the 4 or 5 months, I had wrote in my planner, double check with the doors. Like, I don't want to ever get scammed. I'm trying to be like on top of stuff. So I write in my planner. I literally skipped ahead 4 months and I wrote down, like, it's been 4 months. Contact the door people if you haven't heard from them. And I literally had to harass them for so long to get any updates. And then same with once the doors got here and I paid, they didn't contact me when they said they were supposed to contact me. I had to keep harassing them, like, when is someone gonna call me to install it? And then when is someone gonna call me to deliver them? It was like 2 different people. But then when the delivery guys want to come 30 minutes earlier, they won't stop freaking calling me even though I'm dead asleep. Like, I hadn't slept well the night before, like blowing up my phone and stuff because they want to come at 7:30 instead of 8.
Yeah,
like,
they came earlier than they were supposed to.
Like, no, I scheduled 8. I don't want you to come earlier. Like, I'm trying to sleep. I'm pregnant. But whatever. That's not even the biggest issues.
So the delivery guys come, they drop the doors off. They say, oh, can we put them here? I'm like, yeah, sure. And then when we go back down later, they're not where they said they were gonna be. They were against a shed where we have our dive stuff and we needed it.
To go dive, which is what we do.
Yeah, so Brittany and I then had to move every single door.
6 panels of glass.
Yeah, super heavy, like probably like 80 or 100 pounds each.
And obviously we don't want to break them because we waited so long for them to get here.
Yeah, so we're being like super careful moving them. We're able to do all that, luckily.
And I'm pregnant, so it's like not easy for me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but it was just, that was like the first thing, which wasn't such a big deal. Like that would have been okay. Because I was just like, I didn't tell them like, don't put that there, you know. So it would have been okay if that was it. But then when the guy came to install. It was like this one guy, he comes and like rings the doorbell or whatever.
Can you believe that? One guy to install big sliding glass doors? To me, that's crazy. One guy. Like, and they quoted us it would take 2 days, but I still thought he would have a team. And I was like, oh, they probably just work till like 2, because the painter guys, they only ever work till like 2 or 3, and then they're
That's
done.
like most crews here. They just work
don't
for
work
the morning.
that late. And so I figured they probably could have did it in 1 day, but their crew wanted to work like 2 days, whatever. I didn't care. I was like, sure, do it in 2 days. Do one door one day, the other door other day, because there's like a beam in the middle, so they're 2 separate sides. No, this company sends one installer to install doors on a 2nd floor up on a hill. Like, they have been to our house to give us the quote, and they've seen the house. It's not like it was like a mystery. And they send one guy, and he doesn't even know what the house looks like. Didn't know that all the materials were downstairs.
Yeah. So he's like on the phone with the company, like owner, someone, I don't know, like, hey, how am I gonna put this stuff in? Because it's downstairs. How do I get it up here? And it's like one of the pieces, like the big frame that goes around it. So it's like 10 feet by 7 feet, this big plastic frame, which isn't that heavy. You can lift it by yourself, but how would you maneuver it up here without banging it into stuff? So then I'm finally like, hey, I can just help you with it, like, so that you can start working, like, because I don't want you to waste time.
Because I'm just going to say this, because also we're going to post this when Shane's back from Fiji. This happened on a Monday and a Tuesday, and Shane leaves for Fiji Wednesday morning. And so I was like, oh, perfect. We'll get it done before he leaves. I can be able to lock the doors while he's gone. Like, it works out good. So, like, we didn't want him delayed or, like, being like, oh, I'll do it Tuesday, Wednesday instead because I can't get a crew here on Monday or whatever.
Right.
So that's why Shane offered to help, because we were like, all right, well, he's here. Like, this company is already hard enough to, like, schedule stuff with. Let's just get it done. So he'll just help them bring it upstairs. Or him, one guy. By the way, we got fish tacos, homemade tortillas, beer battered fish, and Mexican mac salad, which I never heard of. It was pretty good.
I think they made it up for this.
And rice.
I'm so sad though. Brittany's fish taco came with cilantro and onion.
Yeah, also our food was messed
mine
up.
didn't. And so it didn't
And it's also
taste good.
It's also, this is a complaining vlog, yes, but I'm having a rough couple of days. Like, I literally, once you wait till you get to the later in the story, I had a mental breakdown. And I cried a lot yesterday because of this. So our food being messed up is like a final straw for me. Like, I never complain, especially to small businesses, but I will be filing a complaint with corporate today. Not in a rude way for this, but like, you know, you order something, you want it to be right. You pay for it. You know? So anyways, back to the story.
Yeah, so I go down to help the guy, and then he's like, okay, we're gonna...
Wait, should we explain how this guy is behaving first?
Oh yeah, he's like Kramer from Seinfeld, but worse. Like, just so like erratic and
like freaking out. I was already like, whoa.
Yeah, like zipping around all the time, like and like, you know how I do dishes where I'm like, or like,
yeah,
cook,
and it stresses me out.
Really fast? But he's faster. He's like faster than me when I'm moving as fast as I can.
And you know how when you just don't mesh with someone's personality, like if you're really loud, you might not mesh with someone that's really quiet, whatever. His chaotic energy makes my anxiety go through the roof, like hectic, whatever. And sorry, we need to backtrack again really quick. They sent me installation instructions in one of the emails when I paid, and I made sure to read the whole thing because I was like, I don't want to, like, I always follow the rules. So I read the whole thing. It's like, move stuff 3 feet away from the area that the install is happening, like on both sides. So I'm like, cool, we have the outside, inside, I gotta move stuff 3 feet away. That's not that bad. And then he told me on the phone that he was gonna do one door one day, the other door the other day. So I was like, cool, I don't have to move my desk on the first day. I'll move my desk on the second day because it's really heavy, not easy to move. Like all these wires, it's like a pain in the butt. So I move all the easy stuff from the one side, all small, and then he comes to look at it and I'm like, yeah, so I moved everything. So you can, like, there's a whole walkway outside. You don't have to walk through the house. And then he in with his chaotic, frantic energy, takes all the stuff that I moved. When he's asking Shane to help him like carry the doors up, they decide they're gonna pull them with ropes.
Yeah, so I'm downstairs tying stuff up so that he can pull it up with ropes.
And I'm standing here in the kitchen making my breakfast like this, watching him, because I was like so in shock how he was acting. Like, and I'll insert a clip if I can get off the ring camera, like moving all of my stuff on the porch that I already moved. So then he's just like putting it all in the walkway that I wanted him to use to stay outside. Because there's like on this side of our house is a walkway and then it goes down to the carport. So he wouldn't have to walk through our house to bring materials up and down. Because he decides that they need to pull these frames up over the railing. So he needs the whole entire railing clear. And so he's just like moving all of my stuff, my plants, like stuff that, like I'm weird. I know I'm weird about this, but I want to move my own stuff. Like I have it a certain way. I like things very organized and neat, and I moved it in a way that's easy to put back for me since I'm the one putting it back. And then he's moving it in a way that's not easy for me to put back. And like certain plants I don't want in certain areas because too much sun, like whatever. My plants are like a big deal to me and I don't want them to die. So that happens. He moves everything that I already moved, even though I moved it to 3 feet away from the install area. No one said anything about like hoisting the doors up over the railing. Like, was not prepared for that at all. So then this leads to my point where he blocks the walkway, so he has to walk through the house to do everything. Kenny, you can tell the next parts because I need a break.
Yeah, so. And I go back to like sitting at my desk, and then I'm like looking at what he's doing, talking to Brittany a little bit, and then I'm thinking like, I wonder how he's gonna take the old doors down and come up with the new doors and all that, because you just blocked off the pathway outside.
And also the big frames. There's 2 big frames that are kind of blocking in the doors.
Yeah. And so I just asked like, hey, how do you plan on like taking the old doors down? And then he's just like, bro.
He takes the door off of the tracks, like a wooden door. Wood is heavy. If you've ever picked up it was just the frame, but it's like a thick frame.
Yeah.
He picks the door up and storms through the entire house with his shoes on. And since he's walking so fast, I have this entryway table that I hadn't moved because I was planning on him using the outside walkway because I didn't want to have to move my entire house. And then I have a glass jar with shells on it. He bumps into the glass. I couldn't see from where I was standing, but he either bumps into the glass jar or the table, but enough that it shakes the jar and one of the top shells like flings out. And then also I have a mural painted on this wall. So I don't really want big things dinging the wall because
if
it's
he would have
not
dinged
easy
the wall
to just fix the mural that my friend hand painted that took her like 4 days, you know? Like if there's an option to do it an outside, that's what I want to do, because it's like I just worked so hard on this house. I don't want things getting messed up, and it's not like I think he'd mess it up on purpose. Like stuff happens by accident all the time. I do things by accident all the time. Like I scratch the floors by accident all the time. I like, you know, I just dropped my phone on accident and I have to buy a new phone, you know, like stuff happens on accident. So if you can avoid it, that's what so anyways, he storms through their house and like is all chaotic, like, and that's stressing me out because he's not even being careful. And I'm like, I like look at Shane and we're both staring at each other and I'm like, all right, nope, you gotta tell him he needs to chill because I cannot do this. And Shane's like, yeah, I agree.
So I go down and tell him that he needs to like slow down, and he just doesn't. Like it's like he can't comprehend like just being more careful.
You know what he said to you? Because I could hear him.
What?
He was like, for real, bro? Like, for real?
Did he?
Yeah, 100%. He was like, oh, really? For real?
Yeah,
like, he was saying it in a way that he didn't believe you. Like that was so crazy for someone to ask him.
Yeah.
Like, I know you want to get it done. We want to get it done too, but like, you're moving way too fast. It's like, you need to chill out. And he's like, oh, for real? Like, really? Serious? I was like, why are you, like, if someone tells you, if the homeowner is like, you're acting too chaotic for me, like,
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, so he was just like moving way too fast all the time, like very careless. Easy to make mistakes when you're moving more quickly and not being as methodical or thoughtful. And
at that point, I looked at Shane and I was like, I can't be down here.
yeah.
Like, my anxiety was, then he comes back in and I'm like, okay, Shane, we need to move this entryway table. Like, don't need him to move it. Set in the instructions. The installer won't help you move stuff.
Yeah, he
And
jumped in like he was about to move
he's
it.
like, oh yeah, bro, can we just put this over here just so I'm out of my way? I'm like, I said, I got it. No, we cannot put it over there. I know where I want to put it. It's my stuff. Like, F off. Like, you do the doors. I will do the moving of my stuff.
Yeah. So then, I can't remember exactly how you guys got into it, but it was like...
The power went out.
Oh, yeah.
So I went upstairs after I moved all of the things that I thought could possibly be in the way.
Yeah.
And then he moved my little end table that I was getting to moving, because there was like 2 plants and an end table over there, like in a corner. Not 3 feet away from, like way further than 3 feet from the doors,
Yeah.
but I was getting to move it. I moved the one big plant. I was going back to move them, and he moves them before I even could do it. And that's why it was like
I didn't
pissing
know
me
that
off.
happened.
Yeah, that's why later when he was like, I scooched to the table and like saying then you just like slightly move stuff. It's like, I don't care how much you moved it.
Right.
I was going to move it myself.
So, and that's like a perfect example of what is about, like what happened that we're about to tell you about. So like Brittany's like, don't move my stuff. And then he's like, I just scooched it. Like always talking back, always having something to say, always having an excuse or a reason.
Not
it's
just
like,
being like, okay,
it's
I
like
won't do
the
that.
way that like a kid talks to their parent is like how he was talking to us, which is like so inappropriate and unprofessional. And it's like,
well, we'll get to that in a second.
yeah, just in general, when someone is hiring you to do a job, you just do whatever they say, like, because we're the ones paying. And like,
It's our house.
Yeah.
It's not even like you're at a restaurant, like in a mutual, like public space. It's like, this is our space.
yeah,
I don't know. I worked doing stuff like cleaning someone's house, for example. Like if I was a house cleaner, I would be like so, like even, okay, so when I babysat, I was so like careful. Like this is someone else's house. Like always felt slightly uncomfortable. Like I'm in their house, better do exactly what they say. Like, so it's their house, you know? This
Yeah.
is not your house. So after I moved everything, I like didn't say anything at that point. I was like, all right, Shannon, I have to go upstairs. Like, I'm sorry, but this is on you. Plus, he always hangs out on his computer anyway. That's like all he does in his free time. Sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
So then he like had some stuff plugged in to a wall outlet, like he was charging batteries. And it was like this really big thing that can charge multiple power tool batteries at the same time, which I imagine draws a ton of current. And so to me,
I didn't know that.
yeah, it was that, and then he also put a shop vac on the same plug, which is like, it's probably okay most of the time, but it's like bad practice to be like, oh, let me put these multiple high power draw things on the same line and it should be fine. And really he should have like had...
all you had to do is ask, like, hey bro, do you know if this is okay if I use this much power?
Yeah.
In one outlet?
I don't know.
Shane's sitting right there.
Yeah. He would never ask about doing anything. He would just do stuff. And like, we pay the price for it because
now we have to have, spoiler alert, we have to have electricians come out while Shane's not here. So I have to deal with it. And it's like,
yeah,
I have stuff I need to do. And I was so excited to not have any more workers in our house. We were just saying like, this is the last time people have to be in our house. Wrongy.
Yeah, so you would think that putting too much stuff on one line would pop the breaker. You go reset it, unplug some stuff, plug it in elsewhere, it's fine. But what was so weird is that it like popped the breaker, but then I checked the breaker is still on. And then I even moved wires around and all this stuff. Don't want to bore you with the technical details, but I tested it extensively and the only answer that I could find was that there's some problem with the connection of the wires between one of the plugs that's on that breaker line and the rest of the plugs, which go to my computer and that one that we use for Max's water thing and an outside light.
Which is so annoying about Max's water because there's no other, that's the only spot that's like out of the way. And it's just little things, like this is first world problems, but it's like, that is an outlet that I use constantly every day, and now it doesn't work because of this company and because of actions that he did. And this is just a little thing also. If this is the only thing that happened, it would be annoying, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. But it's like all the things added up and just, yeah. So anyways, that happens.
So then Britt came down and was like,
okay, I was freaking out because, we didn't have when we don't have internet at our house, there's nothing you do. We don't have cell service at all.
Yeah.
And I was already annoyed that he was all frantic. So in my mind, it was because he was like rushing and doing all this crazy shit that this problem happened. Like already something happened and he just started and I'm like, already something is wrong. Like, so yeah, I was pissed off, but I wasn't even talking to the guy. I was talking to Shane about how I was pissed off.
Yeah. And so Britt was like talking to me. And then he was like trying to jump into the conversation and like explain himself and all this type of stuff. And really he just should have been like saying sorry and nothing else.
All he should have said, in any professional circumstance, you just apologize. Like, I'm sorry that happened. I didn't mean to. Like, I'm sorry I touched your stuff. Next time I'll ask you before I move it. I'm sorry I did this. Like, it's not even big. It's not like I was like, don't install the doors. I wasn't telling him to do anything about how he was doing his job. Like, it was all about the house. Yeah,
so then Britt was like you're messing up my stuff. Like, I think the quote was like, I spent so much time and money on making all this stuff inside the house nice, and you're just running through here all crazy. And then
he's like, I'm not running crazy. What are you talking about? Like, denying everything.
Yeah, and then he was like, I probably make more than you. I have nice stuff at my house too. And
that's when Britt went sicko mode.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, that to me is the most sexist comment. Not saying that to Shane. Not saying that about yourself because, I'm sorry, you don't know what I do for work. You have no idea anything about me, and I probably make more money than you, like, because I'm a girl. For what reason do you have any to back that up? And I'm not coming at your personal life at all. I'm coming at like how you're acting in a professional environment. Like, you're supposed to be at work right now and you're acting like a freaking psycho. Like, I already wrote my Yelp review that I'm gonna post. I didn't want to say this because I don't want to ruin the guy's life, but he was acting like he was on drugs, okay? Like, he maybe just had too much coffee, or maybe that's just how he is, but his demeanor was like not okay for being professional. Like, you don't just rip the door off and be like, this is how I'm gonna take it off. And then when we're all talking about it later, he's like, I just wanted to show you. It's like, we didn't ask for a show. We just had a question. What was your plan of action? No need to like show us.
That was a discussion thing, not a action thing.
Yeah.
And just to go back to like, telling someone that you make more than them is like such an awful thing to say. I'm
so angry about that still. Like, I think I am blocking out of my mind because when he said that was towards the end of me kind of like speaking my mind, and I had to walk away shortly.
Yeah, like I can't imagine like being in a fight with someone and then trying to tell them that their worth is only like their income. And also being so fucking wrong
and
about it.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. But by the way, he doesn't know how much to make. I can 99.9% guarantee you I make more money than him. So he can F off. I'm like so positive about that. But it doesn't even matter how much, like, I didn't bring that up. Doesn't matter, because even if I made way less than him and I spent so much money that I worked hard for on the stuff in my house and that I take pride in and that I want to take care of because I've only owned it for less than a year, like, you don't discount that just because you also have nice things or because you make more than them. Like, it doesn't matter. if someone is telling you that their stuff is important to them and they don't want you to touch it and it's their house, you don't argue with that. You say, okay, like you say, I'm sorry that I touched your stuff. Like he was saying the craziest stuff, guys. I can't even tell you in the right order.
Doesn't it go without saying like that the stuff in your house is important to you and should be cared for? Like how does that require an explanation? And then how do you refute that? Like how do you go into someone's house and be like, nah, fuck your stuff?
And like he was opening these doors on this side when he was supposed to be working on these doors. And I was confused by that because the desk was still there. All my stuff was on the desk still, the computer monitor, things that are expensive. This is how we started talking about the stuff. And he's like opening those doors and not communicating with us that because we had already talked about he's doing this side of doors. So to me, it's like, why are you messing with this side of the doors? Because you need to communicate with that to us because I specifically told him we didn't move anything on this side yet. So I'm not ready for you to do this side.
Yeah, which again is fine that he needed to open that side.
But he needs to tell us that.
Yeah, tell us before doing.
Because like I said, I'm weird about my stuff. The doors are so crusty and dirty and dusty, and we've never even moved the ones on that side. So in my head, I'm like, they're gonna get stuck open. We're gonna be stuck with this big gap, and like the gecko poop is gonna come in and it's gonna mess them up. Like all this, my brain is a little bit crazy, but it's like, why it to me is like spiraling. I'm like, he keeps touching everything and like not telling us, and I have it set up so that he could do this side without touching anything, and then it all went to crap. And so I'm like venting to Shane, I'm like, why is that door open? Like, why is he opening that door? Because that was like how we first started talking about it, because he was on the phone with his dad about electrical stuff, about stuff.
Trying to fix the
and I was like, you need to hang up the phone right now, Shane, because Brittany is gonna freak out. Because why is this door open? Why is he messing with these doors? Because like, not ready for that. And so then I'm like venting to Shane. I'm like, he keeps walking on our floor with his shoes on. Like and then he hears all this stuff. And when he comes at me, he's like, he literally came at me too. It was like yelling at me. He's like, well, I have my shoes on because it's a slipping hazard. And then he has his tarp down, this like cloth thing. And he literally acts like he's gonna fall.
Yeah,
like,
he goes like this on it, which if there's sand in, like if the tarp is dirty or if there's like metal shavings or something in the tarp, that like him doing that action to show would scratch the floor right there. And so that's like so stupid and awful.
Even them just using that stuff is so wrong, because every other person that has worked here since we've had the floors installed, because we had some people come in before we had floors, like the kitchen guys did everything when there was no floor, so it was no issue. But they put down the stuff, it's called ram board, contractor board. It's like really thick looking brown paper that you can tape down, and it comes in a big roll, so you just would roll it out from the front door basically to the doors and all over, and then that way when you're done you don't have to clean up, you just roll up the board and you can walk on it with your shoes. And it's all good. They've used it so much upstairs, like on our stairs and everything. No one falls. It's like safe. So you're telling me that your company is having you use stuff that's not safe for you to walk on? Like, that's not my fault. Come prepared to the job with the right materials that you need to protect the homeowner's home, like every other contractor and worker does.
Yeah.
It's not my fault, like, that you don't have the right materials and you're telling me it's a slipping hazard, so I'm supposed to just let you walk on our brand new floors with your dirty shoes on. Like, our carport is so dusty downstairs, it does not stay clean ever. Like, Shane used to go down there in his bare feet, and it was, like, so annoying to me, because then there'd be bare feet footprints all over the floor of dust.
Yeah, so, and, like,
So he'd argue with me, So he basically argued with me about why he needs to keep his shoes on, and, like, and this is Hawaii. Like, I've had furniture delivery men carrying a heavy bed frame, dresser, like take off their shoe. They're like dripping sweat, taking off their shoes before they come in the house.
Yeah.
The refrigerator delivery guy.
They'll kick them off while they're holding this stuff.
Every delivery person has taken off their shoes before they walk on our nice floor. And I never even have to ask them. Like, that's just what you do, especially in Hawaii. Like, you don't walk in people's homes with your shoes on.
Yeah.
And then he tries to tell me he's been doing this for 8 years and he's never had anyone have these issues. I'm like, are you effing kidding me? There's no way that people were not mad at. He's like, I worked in way nicer houses than this, multi-million-dollar houses. They don't even talk to me. They just leave me a key and I just do it. And I'm like, I highly doubt that, and if they do, it's a house that's being remodeled, and they're not living there, and they probably haven't done the floors yet, so they don't care.
Yeah, and there's just like nothing in it.
All of this is just so crazy because to me, this is all common sense, and I cannot believe that he argued with me about any of it.
Yeah, it's like hard to
even if I was coming off like rude, you don't do that. And I just had an encounter with painters where they did something stupid and I freaked out on the owner of the company because he called me to tell me about it. And he was nothing but apologetic, nothing but we'll fix it. You don't have to worry about it. Like, we're so sorry, like blah, blah, blah. Like, that's how you handle something that goes wrong in this kind of business.
Yeah, and I reached out to the owner because I realized that the guy left without finishing caulking something, which I told him, I was like, hey, you're gonna caulk this, right? And then he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna clear this up and then I'll caulk it, which was the same process that he did yesterday, so it made sense. But then he like had me sign everything that he was done, and then I go to look like later and I realized he never caulked it, so he left without even finishing the job. So then I call the owner and I'm like, hey, it's not done. And then he's like, oh, I'll have him come back. But it's like, it's already 6:30. Like, we want to have dinner.
It was like 6:40. It was so like, I mean, and it was only 10 minutes later, but I ordered food for pickup at 7. At like 5 o'clock, I was like, oh no. And before that, it was like 4:40. She was like, he's almost done. And
he probably would have just got done like half an hour or maybe an hour ago. But then that would have meant like, we're super late to get our food. It would have been cold, and like
I think she's closed then anyways.
Yeah, we're eating so much later. Like, it would have just ruined our night. Like, even worse than
it already ruined our entire day.
Yeah, and
because this company can't have more than one installer, so this guy's here from 8:30 to 6:30.
Yeah, and there's no way that you do good work
long to be
when
at
you're
someone's house.
working for 10 hours in a day. Like,
yeah, and like I would have complained about that if I didn't want it done in 2 days.
Yeah, like if I wasn't leaving, it would have been totally different. Another stupid thing that he did was there was like 2x12 on either side of the outside of the doors, or I guess in the center and then on one side.
I took a picture.
He screwed 4-inch screws through the 2x12, and if you don't know what all that is, it looks like this. So there was a screw just hanging out there, 3 of them on one side, and it's like to the point where if you walked into this, like you would get very stabbed, and it was at a spot where you could easily walk into it if you didn't see it. And it's like, how do you claim that you've been doing this for 8 years, but then you make this mistake?
You look at a piece of wood that's this thick and you put a screw through it that's this thick.
Like, I haven't done something like that since I was a kid. Like, when I was a kid learning how a screw and a screwdriver works, like that's when I did that. And then now it's like, I look at how much material I have to go into and be like, okay, make sure the screw isn't bigger than that. Like, so simple.
And this is his job.
Yeah.
This is what he does for work, and the screws are sticking out after the first day.
And like, how do you take so little pride in your work that you don't look around at everything that you've done and be like, okay, yeah, that looks right, this is good. Like, how do you just never even catch that? Another problem is the handles are mismatched, so they're off by like 2 inches in the vertical
like right
dimension.
Next to each other. There's like a beam, and then there's the handles.
Yeah, so the handles are supposed to be like this, and then they're actually like
why
this.
would you put them like this?
Yeah, and
is my question.
We think that the handles were put on like as the doors were being installed, and so it's almost like he just didn't even measure the heights of where they're going, and he just like put them on like at waist height. Like, he was like, yeah, that looks good. And like, if you have the doors open, you wouldn't notice it, but like the doors are going to be closed sometimes, and it's good to have them like,
well, and we paid for it.
Yeah, like,
why would I want them? Like, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
That's like in your kitchen cabinets, you have 2 knobs, and it's like you have 1 knob up here. Like, bro, what? Like, yeah, they're different doors, but like, how do you claim to me that you've been doing this 8 years, and then you make all these dumb mistakes and like don't finish caulking and like stupid stuff? And so now I'm going to caulk it because I don't want anyone else in the house. I don't want that guy back in my house. I'm so tired of this company. Like, like the guy's gonna come back and look at the handles, but like if there's gonna be big holes in the door, like them assuming the handle's not glued on, so how are they just gonna like move one up?
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna happen.
Like, I'm not waiting for them to order new doors or something. Back to then this whole encounter. This guy was like, he's like, so the last comment he made was about the money thing. And then I kind of went off, and then Shane was like, had this look on his face, like, you need to walk away, because he knew I was about to snap. Like,
and I was afraid the guy would just leave.
I wanted him to leave. I think that if Shane wasn't going to Fiji, I would have been like, get out of my house right now. F you, get the F out of my house. Like, you're the most rude, disrespectful person that's ever, because I was telling him he's being rude, and he was like, I straight up said that, you're being rude, like, before all of this part. And he was like, how? And I'm like,
it was crazy.
So I would have told him to get the F out, but Shane's face looked like, I don't know. He had this look on his face that he was like, Britt, this is about to be so bad if you don't shut up. So then this guy's going off like, I never had this happen to me in my entire life. This is so crazy, bro. This is so insane. This is so crazy. And so I had to like literally suck up every ounce of everything inside of me and be like, all right, sorry I said anything. You do your job. I won't fucking talk to you the rest of the time you're here. You don't talk to me. Like, if you have problems, talk to Shane. Like, I'm done. Just do your job. Pick up your tools right now. Do your job. Like, we're done talking about this. And he did. He started working again. But
then he still was like saying stuff under his breath. Yeah, he was talking to Shane.
Yeah,
so he's like saying stuff to me.
I had to walk away.
And then
I walked away also mid-encounter, went out to the bedroom door, and I could hear him saying stuff to Shane about me. And I was like, I can't. I'm about to freaking punch this guy so hard.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to just like pretend like it's okay the way that he's talking, but it's
Shane
like
didn't really stick up for me in this circumstance because he was just trying to get the guy not to leave, I think.
Yeah, it was like he was not saying the words, but it's like everything that he was saying was like, your girlfriend is a bitch. Like, why is she being such a bitch? And like my ex used to be like that, and she was a bitch, and that's why I left her. And like why the fuck would you tell me about your old relationship when you're here working on my house? Like I like thought about that at the end of the day. I was like, what would it be like if our other contractor told me about his past relationship and how it related in some way to mine? And I was like, that is so fucking insane that if he said that to me, I would never hire him again, no matter how good the work is. Like, that's just so unbelievable that someone would talk to me about that.
It takes us such a long time to process things, which I think is kind of funny sometimes. So like today, he is finally talking about what happened yesterday, and he's like, we should have just told him to leave.
Well, because I didn't.
No, it's okay that you take a while to process things. Like
I just didn't see an option to get the door done, which is why. And
I was ready to hire our contractor.
But what if he couldn't have come? What if he was?
Yeah,
busy?
I was like, fine, we'll tape it up with plastic. I honestly didn't think he was gonna come back to the second day.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna have half the doors done, which would have been okay, whatever. But like, because he was pissed at me for saying stuff to him, and I was so pissed at him that I wasn't gonna be like. And I didn't call the company or anything because I already read their reviews, and I can tell when a company is going to be like someone you want to talk to versus not. And I already got so many bad vibes from this company, like little things. I was like, I'm not trying to reach out and complain about this. Like, at this point, since I already sucked up my pride and said like, sorry, just keep working, I'm just gonna wait and write them like the worst review that I could possibly write, but it's all true. So it's
well, and that's why we're here making this 45-minute video, so that we can vent about it, because we won't get anything out of telling the company or whatever. But maybe they'll see this video and be like, damn, we really fucked up. And
I don't think so. I think that guy's so delusional. He's gonna be like, they're so crazy, I can't believe like he kept being like, no one's like, he just kept like Shane said, he just talked too much about like his past stuff. And like, I could have said the same thing, but I didn't. I could have been like, I never had a contractor do all this stupid shit. Like, I've never had a contractor be talking so frantic and running around. Like, I've never had any experience with this before, and I just remodeled an entire house.
Yeah.
Like, we've had workers in our house like almost constantly since we've moved in.
Yeah, like a year straight of only having the house to ourselves like half of the time, basically.
Not even. It's been really rough. Like, renovating a house is really hard, guys.
Yeah.
Do you want some of this? Is that why you're looking at it?
No, I left 2 things of rice.
So then that was the first day pretty much. After that encounter, I went upstairs and I was like, I'm trapped up here now. Like, I literally can't go downstairs because I would have said something, because I can't bite my tongue when he's doing something that like I don't like.
Yeah.
Like walking on like he did things like he took my outside broom, which I keep outside on the front porch because it's for sweeping the front porch only, because the front porch gets dirty for like dirt and stuff. You don't use an outside broom on the inside of your house. It would scratch the floor, like Shane's saying. Like there's bits of stuff in it that's like, you don't use it on the inside of your house. And then I like look on the Ring camera and he's using the broom to sweep inside here. And like just doing dumb stuff, like leaving the front door open all day so that the wind is like circulating through the house, and that when he's making dust, it's covering the entire house in dust instead of just keeping it isolated in the area that he's working. So I stayed upstairs all day because I couldn't come down here, so I was trapped. And then finally come down, that's when we noticed the screws sticking out, whatever. And then it's like so late that we're like both exhausted from this day. Like after me and him got in that altercation, I just came upstairs and cried for probably like an hour straight because I was so frustrated and annoyed and pissed off. And so then the second day comes, which was today, and I was like, I'm not speaking to him because I have nothing nice to say. I'm like so irritated at this company, at this guy. And like obviously me expressing how I feel about him walking on the floor and all this stuff like doesn't work. He listens to Shane way more than he listened to me. Like he said, he was just calling me crazy basically. So me and Shane like discuss how we want the day to go. We decide to move everything from the walkway. So Shane's gonna tell him that he has to walk outside, which he did do the second day.
Yeah.
But all this stuff he put in the walkway himself, so he couldn't walk there yesterday.
Yeah. And it's like, shouldn't have to get to that point. Like you should be planning the whole time. Like how can I?
And I even told him that there was a walkway outside.
Way. Yeah, and he like didn't like that it was slightly longer or something.
It wasn't though. You have to walk down this whole thing, or you have to walk through the house. So it's equal same.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then you walk down the stairs on that side, or you walk down the stairs on this side.
Yeah, and like I've done so many projects where I have to go up 3 flights of stairs to like go down to cut something and then go back up to install it, and then I messed it up and I have to go down to cut it again, and it's like that's just the way it is. And like our other contractor Lewis,
when they did the shower up there, that was up 3 flights of stairs.
Yeah,
that's the only option
and they
had.
never complained about it. They never were like, oh, we have to do this way, that's bad for you guys. Like they weren't like, oh, we're gonna put our miter saw in the guest room and it's gonna put dust everywhere, but we don't feel like walking down. Like we told them like, sorry that it's such a long walk, and then they're like, oh, we did one that was an even longer walk. That's
why they come out and give you an estimate before they start the project. They can see what they're working with. They can jack the price up based on how many times they're gonna walk up the stairs. Like we didn't like create the stairs, and even if we did, like we're hiring you to do a job, you came to give us the estimate, we got the estimate. Like it's not my fault you have to walk up and down the stairs.
Yeah, so just the whole thing sucked. And it's
and like Shane said, the handle, like I come down and I notice everything, little things really quick, and so the handles are off. He didn't caulk that part. Like he already paid the guy in full, but like I would have been like, well, I'm sending you the invoice for however much the electricians charge us, because like that is messed up because of you, because we were using it just fine before you got here. Like whether you meant to do it or not, you messed up our electrical, and it's a huge inconvenience for us. And like when the painters, they knocked one of my outside lights down and shattered it, they pay for it, or he took it out of the final thing, whatever. Like it doesn't matter if it was an accident, if your worker did it on accident or on purpose, like you still did it. So like they owe us for the electrician, which we can just send them the invoice now, I guess, but we'll see if they actually pay for it, whatever. Oh, one more thing. The screen doors, which we need to open the doors because otherwise it's bugs and all, like we live in Hawaii, there's
like
critters.
The whole point of these doors was so that they would be sealed properly and we could use screen doors.
We don't have AC, like, so the screen doors don't fit or something, and this guy doesn't have the right tools, but the other installers have the right tools too.
It wasn't a different installer, it's someone specifically that fixes the screens, because I guess they mess them up all the time.
Okay, so the screen guy has the screen tools to adjust the size of the screen. So now they have to come back tomorrow and do the screens. But thankfully the screens are outside, and so I'm not letting them in the house.
Yeah. And then He said that they only take like 30 minutes, but it's like we already paid, so who knows if they're even gonna show up. And that's what I was worried about. And I like tried to not pay, but he like really insisted. And I knew that Britt just wanted him out of the house, and I wanted to go get dinner, so I was like, fine, whatever.
And that's a warranty thing. That's nothing that costed you or nothing. And that's pretty much an immediate fix.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just sucks that it's
I thought I just would let you know before.
Yeah.
Usually people wait till after, but I thought I'd let you know that.
Well, I just wish it was done today, you know?
Well, I kind of don't know until the last minute, dude.
No,
Because of the screens is the last thing.
Yeah.
And those say Lewis on them. So, they were set. KN34, the container.
No, I know.
So it's not even our fault. It's the screen manufacturer.
Yeah.
But we have capability to fix it. That's all our warranty and stuff does.
Okay. So someone comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And I make this an urgent because you need this done.
Yeah.
I hope that don't bum everything. I hope the door is still good.
Yeah.
Everything's perfect, bro. There was no complication, nothing.
So
If they don't come,
we're gonna go find where the guy lives.
you're giving me that owner's number and I'm calling him nonstop until they put some screens in.
They're lucky
so
that they're talking to me and not talking to Brittany.
Yeah. Shane's way too nice when it comes to this kind of stuff, I think. But then I'm also probably way too mean.
The balance. So yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Thanks for listening to the rant. It's kind of the drama stuff that you guys like, because when our
parking lot drama videos always do kind of well on here, so maybe
Yeah.
you guys like this annoying kind of stuff.
That's why I had the idea for this, is not only for us to vent about it, but also for maybe you guys would be interested in hearing all the drama that we had today.
I'm like exhausted. I did nothing today because I locked myself in the bedroom the entire day that he was here.
She did 2,000 steps pacing back and forth up there.
Yeah. I was so bored towards the end because Shane came up and told me at 4:40 that he was almost done. We were supposed to have our friends over for a game night tonight, but I was like, the house is not put together. I need the whole day to prep the food and stuff that I was gonna make, that I already bought all of it, but I was like, I can't be down there with him because my anxiety will go insane, and then I'll say something and then it'll be like a whole thing. So we had to cancel our plans with our friends. I'm so exhausted now, even though I literally just did nothing. Didn't even edit a YouTube video yesterday because my anxiety was too bad and I was too stressed out. We're gonna go with I don't know. I'm gonna go caulk the door right now, actually, at 8:30 at night.
Sorry, you gotta do it right now.
Well, I need your help to move the desk back before you leave.
Oh yeah.
So the caulk needs to get in.
Yeah.
So thanks guys for watching this long rant. This video. Oh, what I was gonna say, comment down below if you have any crazy story times with workers at your house, any kind of stories like this. I want to hear them, so comment them down below and I'll read all your comments.
Yeah.
Like this video, we'll be diving in the ocean next time, and maybe it'll be our Fiji/Hawaii back and forth vlog.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
That'll be fun.
Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah, that's all the stuff we saw.
Bye.
Bye.